What's good, my lovelies, lovely soul? Empress here, coming to do another daily. So many things are happening, and things are just moving so quickly. And I felt like we needed to talk about some things. Yesterday, we did a very important reading on the Georgia Stones. And yesterday was a portal day, but I didn't have the time to come back on and do a portal reading. What's good, Nelson? I didn't have time to come back on and do a portal reading for yesterday, but when I awoke, one of my subscribers had commented on yesterday's Georgia Stone video, and what's good, Evelyn, and informed me that an obelisk in the city of Vigan in the Philippines. This is another monument, was struck by lightning yesterday. And I had never heard of this monument. So, I didn't want to tie the two in together immediately. So I went online and I did some research, okay? So while I'm talking to you guys about this, I'm going to light some incense. So what I discovered and it wasn't a lot of information, okay? They give you a lot of background information on the city and such, but I was looking for something else, and we'll get into that too. What's good, Crystal? Okay, so the first thing I found was that this vegan city, for those of you who are not familiar, the Philippines was also taken over during the Spanish Inquisition. Okay, and so they were colonized as well. This is why if you go to the Philippines, a lot of Filipinos speak Spanish, and their language is similar to ours because of it's like a fusion between Asian and Spanish. Okay, so sometimes like I can listen to somebody speaking Philippine. I forget, I think it's called Tog. I'm not sure what their language is called, but I can pick up certain words. Anyway, point being, I didn't know my family is from Philippines, but yeah. So, basically what I discovered was that this city, the first thing I discovered was that this city happens to be like I pulled up the Wikipedia, hold on. It's a historic city that is, can't even get this shit to light. It's a historic city that was kind of coined for the United Nations, okay? And then organization is what founded that obelisk, okay? And the organization is UNESCO, which is part of the United Nations. Okay, so what you do or do not believe about the United Nations, I've heard varying opinions on it. But it seems like all these acronym organizations, Georgia's full of darkness. Oh my goodness. So I feel like we're seeing things that are being, and we didn't see, okay, because let me back up because it's coming in very jumbled. The footage that you could have looked up about the Georgia Stones, they just show a car driving away, but they don't show it technically by the Georgia Stone. Okay, and there's cameras all over that site. So that's one. So you have a car driving away, but you didn't see a car pulling up. There's no filming of that. There's no pieces that are left over, something to consider. What's good, Shauna, right? So, right? Then the next day, on a portal day, here we are again talking about, this vegan city obelisk. Now, okay, things get struck by lightning, but it's also a portal day, right? And now it's tied to the UN. This CERN thing, supposed to be for humanity. The Georgia Stones. all things about world order, right? World dimensional things, right? So what is, no, yesterday was the portal day, 7/7. Okay, 7/7/2/2/2, right? So I feel like we need to check it out, right? So while I'm researching this, and I'm doing it quickly because I woke up late today. While I'm like, going through all of this, right? What do I see? That in 2015, Vegan City was added or made official to be one of the 7 new world wonders, right? And we've been talking on this channel about if we have 7 chakras, and there's more than 7, but the same 7 main ones, then so does the world, as above, so below. What are these sites about? And what does this have to do with the chakras? Because I feel like it does. What's good, Jennifer LaRoe? And what is the end goal here? While I was doing my research, what I found, and again, I'm not here to put my thumb on either side. It's for you guys to make your own judgments, because I feel like everybody got to tap in individually, right? But what I found was a lot of right-wing people making statements about how these things have to do with occultism, right? But, after I finished the reading yesterday, I had another subscriber hit me up and send me the what's good, Shamika, and send me a photo of the statue in front of CERN, and it was dedicated to Shiva. It was dedicated to Shiva, but the goddess Apollonian, which is supposed to be the angel of destruction or something like that, okay? So, and yesterday I was saying I was feeling an entity, and I named a different one, but that doesn't mean that they weren't, that this thing is not, yeah. So I'm gonna leave that there. But my point is, something ain't right. Okay, something ain't right. And then this second, this thing that happened yesterday, they're saying, okay, so the original obelisks that were in Egypt were for Ra, right? They were for Ra. What's good, Miss Lotus Wisdom? So they were for Ra. And just like everything else that was ancient, whether it was for the indigenous or it was for the ancient civilizations of Africa, they were taken over and used in new ways, right? NYC daughter in the house, me too. So, you know what I'm saying? They've been repurposed, right? And the knowledge, the secret knowledge, we talk about that all the time, how the secret knowledge has been hidden from us, right? So although obelisks were originally to worship Ra, right? They have been hijacked, and the technology that was behind it, okay? And I say technology because, we talk about, the Mayans, and the real purpose of the pyramids were more so some type of generator, right? So it has something to do with technology and not just ancient knowledge, right? So same thing with the obelisk, right? So these information have been hijacked and used for other things. Now, in the United States, we have the Washington Monument. We have an obelisk too, right? And this obelisk is on certain ley lines. And we have talked about the placement of ley lines and the monuments that they use and why they're using them. So I feel like I feel like there's definitely, I don't feel it's a coincidence. I don't. Okay, I feel like, you know, I said in yesterday's reading that there was a good chance that whoever was involved in the Georgia Stone's destruction was going to pull back their hands and say, not I, right? And the videos that I was seeing this morning when I was trying to research the date of when the obelisk went up, I couldn't find it, right? I could find all this information about the city and how it was tied to UNESCO, but I couldn't find the actual date that the obelisk was erected. Now, I did find the date that they were added to the 7 wonders of the world, but I could not find the erection date of the obelisk itself, right? Which is also strange. But anyway, I feel like there's something here about these sites. They all seem to have something to do with the new world. And then also the videos that were talking about it were saying basically that this was symbols that were used basically in connection with the Vatican. So here we are. We're going to see what Spirit got to say about it. And, you know, I am, like I said, I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to bring the information forward and whatever Spirit says, and then we can all make our determination. I've never heard of this obelisk, so I'm as much in the dark as you guys, okay? Some of you might know more about it than me, but let's go. We got reality can be shaped and changed by my direct actions. And so I will act with consistency to forge my ideal life, right? So Kendrick Lamar mentioned New Earth 2 in his recent album. So it got me thinking what message he's sending. Correct. Yes, bring the info. Thank you, Empress. Oh, thank you. Okay, so it says again, reality can be shaped and changed by my direct actions. And so I will act with consistency to forge my ideal life. Again, yesterday, heavily, we were talking about knowing the wisdom and understanding what's going on and seeing the things, putting them in your memory, but not reflectively going into negative energy, because this could be trying to lower your frequency, right? So that's the first thing. And then the second thing, if you listen to the first line, what does it say? Reality can be shaped and changed. Okay, so is something being shaped and changed before our eyes in public, but yet we don't understand what we're doing or what they're doing, because this knowledge has been hidden from us for so long that we're not understanding the overall goal, right? So the next card says, we do not need more time. We need a stronger reason to act so that we use time more effectively, right? So I feel like what Spirit is saying is complacency, you know, or the time to study, right? Like we can't just hide our heads in the sands like, oh, that's nothing, right? We have to use our time effectively and our frequencies to protect ourselves, because we talked months ago, as far back as the Lost Ones video, the collective unrest that was a few months ago, talking about how people's frequencies was going to be lowered. We was going to see them getting all out of whack and shit, and how we had to protect our frequency, right? And what you think about, you bring about in a remarkable speed right now. So again, this information is to make you aware. It is not to lower your frequency. Now you have this card in reverse. We should not fear an obsession for building a great and free life. Now I feel like what Spirit is saying, not that we should fear it, but that we should fear people trying to stop that, okay? People trying to stop a great and free life. What's up, Leah Lou, okay? So, you know, I feel like, you know, when Spirit gives me a reverse card, they're telling me to pay attention. And I feel like it says we should not fear an obsession for building a great and free life. So take the word not out because it's in reverse. We should fear an obsession for building a great and free life. So what are they trying to build? And what do we have to lose? Okay? And then we must reclaim our agenda with a forceful grip. That's the next card. In other words, time for sleeping is done. Time for sleeping is done. Let's see. Gateway of light activation, because I want to see what's being activated. So let's check that out. And then we're going to take Isis. Right? So we got to keep, we got to keep our minds right, but we also got to fucking pay attention, right? Yes, try to stay healthy and high vibrational, correct. Anything else from this deck? Lemurian seed codes, embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace. And if you look, that looks like an obelisk to me. Okay? So what it's showing me is that there's some type of activation happening, okay? And they're showing this obelisk to be crystalline, right? And both the Georgia stones and this obelisk was made of granite. Now, granite is also a crystal, so that means it carries a vibration, okay? Okay, so let's get into what came out of this deck. First, I am presence, light body activation, accessing the divine within, right? So this is this mission that we've been on, to embrace our God selves, right? Our God bodies, right? But as well, right, there are people who have been for hundreds of years now using knowledge that was stolen and hidden, right? And they're also trying to bring agendas about, as this has been going on since forever. This is not something new that I'm telling you, right? But you got emerald tablet activation, cosmic ordering, divine alchemy, conscious manifesting. And here we are consciously manifesting this, trying to be in the know, right? Is there a stone I can carry if I don't have granite crystal? I feel like a macabre would be good, especially if it's made of Shanghai, hematite, obsidian, tourmaline, okay? So anyway, this emerald tablet activation, conscious manifesting, and that's what we're stepping into, right? You see the green light coming down, right? Now also, if you look really well, that looks like an obelisk too, but there seems to be a snake, okay? Now, for those of you that don't know, that that symbol of the snake around the sword, it's affiliated to many entities, but it's also affiliated to Chang'o. Now look very closely down at you see this circle and you see how there's an obelisk there? I'm not sure, but that shit kind of looks like, the Washington Monument in the center, okay? So I feel like, let's stay away from these kind of places for right now, all right? So we got Arcturian light codes, evolutionary downloads, recalling power, future thinking, right? Evolutionary downloads. This is what's happening with us. We all got activated by the sun and we're recalling our power, right? And now we're understanding that we can use our energy to bring about the things that we want. And remember yesterday I was saying, go wake up and envision the life you want. Go to sleep and envision the life you want, right? Because what we think about, we bring about with great speed, okay? And I feel like there's people that don't want you to take control of your frequency because they've been hijacking that frequency of the collective and using it for certain purposes. And now we're like recalling our power onto ourselves, into our God body. And that probably doesn't help their overall agenda. And then just so spirit could verify what I'm talking about, here you go, Crystal. The macabre came out. The macabre crystal came out, and it says here, macabre activation, transcendence, ascension. You are rising up, right? So if let's say, I'm going to give like a kind of an example. Let's say that each and every one of us is a fuse, right? And when these fuses are in place, they work together to power up the overall, what's the word, spirit? Hologram, or the energy that it takes to get the matrix to run, right? If we are individually recognizing that our frequency has been hijacked and that we're recalling it onto ourselves and activating it for our own purposes, what is that doing to the overall power grid that they were trying to use that frequency for? Again, like we've spoken in many other times, right? When your chakras are aligned, they light up, right? Like a Christmas tree. And if you have one chakra that the light goes out, it doesn't bring up the message all the way, okay? Or the frequency all the way. So it's like having a light out in your Christmas tree light. What happens? The rest of the light strip doesn't function. So is that what they're concerned about? That as we're pulling our power back, that it's not being able to function, their overall plan? Now we got Thoth light codes, light initiation, great teacher awakening, divine magic. I'm going to read this one. Thoth, also known as Tahuti, is the ancient Egyptian ibis head god of writing, divine magic, and the moon. Acknowledged as the sacred scribe who created writing, he is considered to be the great mind behind the hieroglyphics. Remember, there was 4 ancient hieroglyphics that was on the Georgia stones, and the maintainer of Egyptian universe. It is said that he was the priest king of Atlantis and was dedicated to leading the Atlantean people into in a loving way that was firm but fair. However, no matter how hard he tried to direct them, many of them didn't obey the spiritual laws of the universe, when inevitably led to the end of their civilization. This gateway takes you to a space where you can connect to the energetic frequency that Thoth carries. As a master teacher to the stars, he holds space for you to connect with some of your greatest gifts from this lifetime and many others you've lived. Thoth's primary teacher is spiritual, and teaching is spiritual integrity, and he's working alongside a powerful congregation of evolved souls, the ascendant Atlanteans, to guide those who are ready to increase their awareness. He specializes in helping those who are finding it difficult to make spiritual progress to rise above the aspects of their life that are holding them back, and helps awaken the teacher within. Okay, so I feel like this has to do, if you think about it, Thoth, right? If he was around when Atlantean fell, and some of the things that were coming out in the videos was talking about the fall of Babylon, right? And I feel like what they're saying, we had our Pluto return for the US. And it's not just the US, right? It's also Russia is in their Pluto return too, I believe. Or they were last year, when earlier this year when the war began. I feel like what they're saying is that these countries that seem to be affected, or places, they either have to do with colonialism, or these agencies have to do with somehow this order, or the new one. I'm trying to use words that won't cause this video to get slowed down so that way people can see more of them. Let's pull Isis, because Isis was mentioned in the Georgia stones yesterday in the video, and then now Thoth, right? So let's get Isis. I feel like we really have to spend time digging and putting the dots together, because they're not going to be right in our face. Okay, yellow is one of my favorite colors as well. It's not going to be directly in our face. Okay, okay, so I feel like we have to and, you know, I said yesterday to you that if you went back when we were doing yesterday's reading, it kept referencing readings of the past. It referenced that collective unrest, lost ones. It referenced the solar flare video. It referenced the CERN video, right? So they're basically telling us go back and look at the readings that we did for those situations, because what they're saying is that bits and pieces were already there, just like in the CERN video. The CERN video was a month ago, and the Georgia Stones came up in there. So they're telling us they've already given us some pieces, and that we need to go back. We need to go back and pay attention and put the pieces together. This, I feel like, has been started for some time ago, because last year, towards the end of the year, like in the fall, I had did a video talking about some things that were going to happen, and some falls of people, and that there was a man that touched his hair a lot, and that he was going to be going down, right? And you know, I believe that the guy from the Ukraine, not the Ukraine, from the UK resigned. Boris, whatever his name, he was the basically the UK's version of DT. Right? Well, he got thrown out yesterday or early this morning. And he does touch his hair a lot. Okay? He touches his hair a lot. Okay? So maybe they were talking about him. Okay? So we really got to start paying attention, because they've been giving us the message for some time now. Okay? And those of you that been with me for a minute, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Yeah, he did resign. Divine sisterhood, right? Community of the spiritual sisters and the brothers of light, right? And some time ago, I'm speaking about that video that I did talking about the man touching his hair. It was no cards in that video. It was completely channeled. And I said to you something about the seven sisters, and then that another reader, I forget his name, he also mentioned them a few days later. The Baron, he did a reading on it too. So it feels like I'm not the only one that is getting these messages. And the seven sisters, the seven stars, they had something to do with the Ukraine, right? And I had been saying for quite some time that the divine feminine energy is coming back to take down the patriarchy, right? Then you got the flower of life here. And it says divine creativity and manifestation, right? And this is what we've been doing. We've been trying to get back in touch with our divine abilities, our sovereign selves, and into the frequency of the all, so that we can manifest, right? And I'm sure that there are people who don't want that to happen, because they have been using the frequency for power. Okay? Temple of Lapis Lazuli, goddess of the ancient skies. Right? There's definitely activation that's happening. And these are hieroglyphs cut into a crystal, into a stone. Make me think of the Georgia stones, right? And then you have the Temple of Carnelian, entering the fierce belly of Sekhmet, right? So I feel like here we are. Here we are, you know, where I feel like we're in a battle right now, and some of us aren't aware. And EM came up in one of the videos that I was researching this morning. What did they say about him? I can't recall. Spirit, you give it back to me when during the reading. But I feel like all these events, they're tight. I really feel so. Pillar of light, descent of the star of Isis. Right? So pillars, obelisks, right? And I wonder, you know, these videos I was watching, they were trying to say that there was some organization that was trying to destroy sites that had to do with the new order, right? And I feel like that could be it. Or these agencies in some way feel like unleashing some energy that they've been using will somehow cause some type of chaos, and then they can harness the energy again. All right, I'm going to get one more oracle deck, and then we're into the tarot. Yes, a lot of channels are talking about the divine feminine energy coming back to level the playing field. Okay, because this has gone on too long, and the abuse of the feminine, right? And then we have Brittany, what's her name? Brittany Gaynor, who's being held. Okay, she's being held, right? So she represents the divine feminine and also because the indigenous peoples of the Americas, they had another classification called the two-spirited, meaning the androgynous or the LGBTQ, right? So I feel like she represents two sectors, right? Thank you. Weight of the world, boundaries, let it go. It's not yours to carry. And remember, we've been talking about paying attention and yet not absorbing, right? So you have weight. It's not time yet. Things are being woven. So what is being woven? What is the end goal here? And what do we need to be paying attention to? And in this photo, what is hovering over the world? A divine feminine. Is the Great Mother returning? Is certain things being struck to level something out? Or is this something to try to prevent that? Okay? You're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness. Face your true north. Okay? So what they're saying with this card is this message ain't for everybody. Not everybody's going to listen. Okay, and remember when I started off by saying that you got to tap in and see if the message resonates for you and what you're supposed to be doing, right? All the femicide that's happening in the US, Puerto Rico, and Mexico. Yep, right? Then you got the lost lands. Soul memories and gifts. You've done this before, right? And we've talked about that. The people who, all my hair stood up. We talked about the people that have come through in this lifetime Remember, we have soul contracts. We all signed up for this. So we must have believed in this prior life that we had the tools to be helpful within this season, within this battle. But we have to remember, a new earth. I've said already new world several times in this reading. Is this what they're trying to bring about? It's happening. Keep holding the vision. So while we are getting this, this opening, right? And this mass awakening, as above, so below, you got to know that some shit is going to try to stop it, right? Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. Doesn't that look like Agartha? As above, so below. Okay, we just showed a card with the Divine Mother above, the Divine Mother below. Gaia's feminine, right? We're not to be following the masses. We need to be tapping into the frequency to know that we're on the right path, right? And then you have empathetic starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. Didn't I start off with saying that it's one thing to keep the wisdom and another thing to absorb the frequency? So be very careful, because a lot of this shit with these portals and things is to cause us to lower our frequency so that we cannot be in the fight. So that we cannot be in the fight. I'm going to get divine, these masculine archetype cards like we did yesterday, right before the tarot, because I feel like it helped. What's with this Vigan city obelisk being struck? Can you show me, Spirit? And I think one of the most important things, because when I do a reading for you guys, I have to watch it myself afterwards, because as I'm channeling, I'm not going to remember, right? So when I watched, the thing that stood out to me is how all of a sudden I realized that that 2014 that was inscripted on the Georgia stones was cut out, and that technically, you know, with the original calendar, right? Because we took on a new calendar. I think it was in 1609. We took on the Gregorian calendar. Then officially, this would be 2014. So, you know, some people might have thought it was cut off because something didn't happen in 2014. But if you go by that old calendar, this is 2014 right now. So what's good? What's good? But that's what I'm saying, Crystal, is that technically it's 2014 right now, because Ethiopia is still on the original clock. So if you go to Ethiopia right now, it's 2014 there. Okay? So the first card that came out is the status quo in reverse. They want to cause disruption, shake up the status quo, break something in the system. And through chaos, through the frequency of chaos, they gain more power in some way. There'll be winners and losers, okay? Some are positive and some are negative, and that's on both sides because of the as above, so below. It'll always be that way, right? It's the universe's way of like balancing out fairness, right? You got final approach, number 7 here. So what's coming out? What's coming out of this cave into the light? What's going to be seen? And if you notice, this cave is in this masculine's head, right? So what portal is being opened? Yes, and I did a reading on that too, Crystal. I did a reading on that too, and it was called... It could have been called time shift. I'm almost sure. I think it was called time shift. Back to the Future time shift, okay? So that was back several months ago, okay? So now you have here the aggressor. So breaking the status quo to make the final approach. Who? The aggressor is doing this, right? Then you have, again, remember yesterday, this came out in yesterday's reading, gathering aid. What do they really want? Are they really here to help us, or are they gathering things that they need? Power, frequency, right? If you look at these hands, what do you see? Little lines, right? Right? And here we are trying to integrate our lower selves and our higher selves, right? But what are they trying to integrate into us, into our physical bodies? Remember the who reading, into our collective, into our mental, into our energy. Y'all need to pay attention. There's several readings that if you have not seen them, you need to go back. The time shift, the solar flares, the CERN, the collective unrest. All of these are part of this message. They've been telling us, okay? They've been telling us, right? And then you have at the bottom of the deck, the comedian. Kiki, haha, it's nothing serious, nothing to see here. Y'all just keep scrolling on TikTok and shit. Everything's fine. Hunter and the judge. Okay? Tests and trials. This is where we're going. Okay? Tests and trials. Right? And this Saturn, this Saturn retrograde, I said it was going to make things a little more speedy, right? Uranus doesn't come out of Taurus till I think 2026. That's when we will finish this whole cycle. But as of 2023, sometime in March, Saturn's going to go into the next sign. So it's going to get a little easier. But know that what we see now to what 2026 is going to be completely different. Because I feel like the battle will be done by then. Okay, that's what I feel. All right, so I'm going to move these cards. And then we're going to get a deck. Spirit, what deck do you want me to use? All right, let's use the what's this called? Sacred Sisterhood, seeing that it has something to do with the feminines. What's good, BJ? Let's see, what's this about? Spirit, what's going on? Can you show me? What is this Vigan City Obelisk and the UNESCO have to do with the Georgia stones and CERN? Is there a connection, Spirit? Is there a connection? Is there a connection? Can you show me if there is a connection? Is there a connection, Spirit? Or is this paranoia? Are people, being confused? Can you show me what it is? Let's see what came out here. I really need to take some decks off my desk because this shit getting crazy. So what's good, L Cubed? One of the things that came out yesterday was that everything is not written yet, that there are things that could still sway this situation, right? And you have the Four of Pentacles here. First off, it's time to hold back our energy. Okay? It's time to protect your frequency. It's time to save money. It's time to, we already talked about having our supplies up, about getting a solar charger, all this shit. Okay? We've been talking about it. If you have not been watching the videos, go back. You can tell by the titles which ones apply to this. It will give you the things that you should be getting and the things that you should be doing. Solar powered chargers, number one. Okay? So, and they have them on Amazon between $20 and $40, $50. Okay? Go get one. Like, really. Okay? So there's Four of Pentacles here. Let's clarify that. Let's use this one. Why is this Four of Pentacles here, Spirit? Well, they show here the Four of Pentacles, right? And they show a graduate education. So are we learning, or is it that we need to learn to be more independent? Yesterday it was saying with this gathering aid that we couldn't go to them, correct? For those that you saw it, right? So this has to do with a learning how to take care of oneself, because we already know that something here is to cause a situation to break up the status quo, to get people out of their frequency, right? And we're being told to protect our frequency and our sovereignty, financially, mental health, all that shit, right? And they're telling you, like, get ready, keep all your shit, right? Get your food up, get your coins up, right? Save some money on the side, keep some cash in your house, this kind of shit. Because there's a need, there's like a desire here to cause people to feel in need, right? Now you have the wheel here. Spirit, why? So the wheel is turning, right? And then you have this Four of Swords, a needing to heal, right? But you also have basically someone being in a bubble or a firmament, which we also talked about. I'm not saying I'm a flat earther, but okay. So here's the Four of Swords. And maybe we haven't been able to achieve certain things because we've been in an energetic bubble that prevents us from using our natural gifts, especially in light of the fact that the knowledge was stolen and hidden. Right? And what is it stopping from us having the Ten of Pentacles? Now, we also talked about, reparations and how many nations have been built on the backs of the people that they took over and then forced them to build these things, right? So this money can't reach this woman in the firmament, even though her energy force helped create that abundance. But justice is about to come in, and this has to do with the divine feminine, right? Right? So if they're trying to break the status quo, because like any spell, a spell works for a certain period of time, right? And then for you to keep that going, you need to do the work to maintain the spell, right? So the people who created these spells to have this all-encompassing power, they know that the spell is running out. They also know that the people are waking up, right? So now you have to do something to stop that. Mass confusion, shootings, Roe v. Wade, Georgia Stones, civil unrest. Now you got the Queen of Cups here, the mother, right? So let's look at that. Before I go to that, at the bottom of the deck, when I just clarified that Wheel of Fortune, there's the Queen of Wands. Now, again, if you saw yesterday, what did I say? There's a dirty blonde or a light brown haired woman with a bob. Why does she keep coming up? Why does she keep coming up? Because they show her yesterday to be the face. And who does she answer to? This King of Pentacles? And then underneath that's the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the priest, or let's say the Vatican. It's a structured organization, and the Hierophant also represents that, right? So let's look at this Queen of Cups. One more. So you got the Queen of Cups here. This is the mother. Now, in slavery, or in this whole, because it's not just slavery, in the whole Spanish Inquisition, the mother was used to put fears into the children, okay? Yeah, I think so too, Jennifer LaRoe. I feel like they use the mothers by putting fear, right, and killing the sons or raping the sons and doing these things to make the women want to make the men more docile so that they wouldn't be in danger. And they taught their daughters to endure massive amounts of abuse so that way she could survive. So it was inverting the natural strength of the woman, right? And they used her as a method of control. They did it through her emotions, but they made her basically like an overseer, right? Because she would control her lineage, right? And so that they wouldn't have conflict. So they used her to break down the children from early, so that way they would listen, right? For who? For the organization, for the corporation, right? Page of Cups. Oh, we're offering you something. We take care of you. We give you a place to live. Right? Who do they want to go against? The High Priestess, the Isis, the feminine, that warrior, right? The one that knows the ancient knowledge, the one that can see, right? A psychic or a someone like me is basically a remote viewer. Same thing they use, they just call it a different word. Okay, now here's the Emperor. So here's your Emperor, or the Empire, or the ruler, right? And then the Hermit in reverse. Things are happening in the open, in plain sight, but hidden. It's because you don't know the knowledge that the Hermit knows, so you don't know what you're seeing, but it's right in your face, right? And the King of Swords in reverse, who usually speaks their truth. But this is a secret agenda, right? This is also trying to silence those that speak. But I feel like they may not try to silence them. They may try to discredit the Ace of Pentacles. And they can't discredit. They're going to try to buy them off. There goes that stick with the snake around it. The money's not real. The money's not real. Okay, they know that's gonna crack. We owe a lot of money right now. Okay? So the next card you have here is the Five of Swords. This is preceding the Emperor. Why? Right, because really this working for, you know, a place to live when you could just build a place to live. But no, you can't do that because they say the earth is not ours and the water we need to pay for and the lights we need to pay for. So everything that's you're given, right, you have to pay for it, right? So this is just another way of making us all indentured servants. They don't want you to own your company or build a business or learn how to be, no, they want you to work for one of them and make them rich. So the goal should, all of our goals should be to get out of their system and barter, start businesses, trade on our knowledge, so that way we're out of their indentured servitude. We should make the money, but never put it back in. And that may be a challenge, but I'm learning how to do it. Okay, so Five of Swords here. That's manipulation. And maybe this Emperor feels they know that you know, time is of the essence, right? They also know that they're trying to do this final approach, right? And they stand to lose abundance, or it's like they stand to lose abundance. And if they can pull off this status quo in reverse, they would be able to extract more. Because, you know, they always go for the big play, right? They go for the big play. And their main goal is to continue this control of the frequency. But the secondary goal is, can we get more? Right? So if we make this situation look a particular way and they panic and we look like we're helping them, you know, stimulus, right? We look like we're helping them, but we're really taking more, right? So we'll give them $1,200 and we'll turn around and make, you know, gas $1,000, right? Just an example, right? So you see what I'm saying? So it's a way to like extract more, okay? And then you have the Ace of Swords. That's the truth. They want, they're manipulating abundance and truth, because Five of Swords is manipulation, right? And the Three of Pentacles, and having us work together for their goals, or we don't understand who is working together. And then who do you have here? You have an what do they call them? Orchestra, a master. An orchestra leader is a he's basically conducting, right? So are you conducting this manipulation? That's what that should look like to me, right? Conducting, this is the manipulation of abundance and truth and conducting it. So staged, right? And what does it cause? A maestro, thank you. And what does it cause? People overthinking. People, Eight of Swords can also mean imprisonment. This goes back to that indentured servitude. If you look at the Constitution, slavery is supposed to be illegal, except in the case of prisoners. Most people don't know that. Okay, that the reason why they are locking people up at a large rate for small things is because in the Constitution, it says that the only people that could be enslaved are prisoners. Okay? Your dad was a maestro? Right. What's the best way to enslave women? Taking away their rights, enslaving their children, right? lowering their frequency because the female's the powerhouse, right? So here is the death card, right? Death and transformation. And what are they bringing about with this change? The magician is at the bottom of the deck, the alchemist, but this is a sneaky one, somebody that we don't see. We talked about that yesterday, that all these things are answering to someone, right? And with this death and transformation, if we're concentrating on other things, then Four of Cups, then we miss the opportunity to guide the transformation with our energy. Secondarily, if we're so obsessed with media and pop culture and, you know, what was that dumbass story that I didn't give a shit about it. The Johnny Depp, like, who gives a shit if she shit on his pillow? Like, I don't care. That's y'all, right? I have more important things to worry about, right? So here's the Death card with the Four Cups, right? Transforming a situation, us not paying attention because we're not invested, right? And we miss an opportunity of the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups, that's their wish fulfillment, that we missed the opportunity. That could be, but I feel like they're working with them, Crystal. So if anything, they're about to bring that in. There was another one I did, solar flares with triangles coming out of the sky. So check that out. They definitely could use that technology though. Six of Pentacles, Spirit, why? Now this reading may feel a little bit all over the place, but I feel like so have the other readings. They have been like that, and then a few weeks later, a month later, we get some type of verification of some piece of it telling us that we've been on the right track, okay? We're not going to get everything right, but they're telling us to keep looking at the things and looking at what's happening, all right? So this Six of Pentacles, you see how it's two divine feminines on each other trying to lift each other up? And yesterday I was saying that we were going to have to work with each other because we couldn't go to them. Divine feminines, we're going to have to band together. Seven of Wands. Look at her busting her ass for the corporation. Does she look happy? Right? We need healthy boundaries because what they're trying to do is get in your head so that you can let down your healthy boundaries, okay? So that you're easily attacked, okay? The Three of Cups. We talked about the Three of Cups is an event, okay? It's also a third party and we don't know who's turning that key, but again, an event. And every day has been an event, has it not? And who comes out next? The High Priestess. Because the goal is to shut down this awakening in some way. And I was saying it for like a month, you know, that people like me, you know, they're going to start to take notice that we are disseminating things, okay? Then what comes out next, the last tarot card, the fucking High Priestess again. Now here, this High Priestess is dressed like a nun, right? This looks like two different types of High Priestesses. So we were talking about the Spanish Inquisition. So this looks more like a missionary to me, and this looks more like the High Priestess. Now, I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about attire. Why is this High Priestess again here? Why would they want to work with the government? Maybe because they've been reverse engineering everything since the 50s in Roswell. Where do you think we got some of these technologies? You know, there are more than just regular speculation that something crashed in the 50s at Roswell and that they found it. and then they reverse engineered it to get technology. And this is how we got warp speed and such like that. We didn't have that shit before. Okay? So they've been working with them. So you have here the High Priestess and the Seven of Cups. And how the High Priestess, just like me, is getting portions. She may not get it all. It's the Seven of Cups here. So some parts, they're trying to cause her confusion or me confusion. They're trying to, you know, put so many things out there. What did I say in the beginning? That I wanted to do a portal reading, but then with the Georgia stones, I had to do that first and I couldn't come back and do it later because so many things are happening that we can't hit all the subjects, right? They're trying to cause us confusion. I have a couple of high priestesses that I work with closely, and myself included. There's a lot of things happening in our private lives that are trying to take us away from servicing y'all. But I show up anyway. Okay? Now, you know, I'm just saying. And then what's here is the Queen of Pentacles, right? There goes that bitch again. And you know, I'm the Queen of Pentacles, right? But they keep showing me this particular woman. She's powerful. I will try to watch that tonight. Major distractions, guys, major distractions. And I'm not saying that I'm going to get everything right, but I'm going to work my damnedest so that we could piece this shit together because I be feeling it. And I think you guys know that. I think you guys can tell by the readings. Right? And what is the end goal here? Right? Let's remember how it came out. You have the High Priestess here in the upright. The Seven of Cups, right? And this is a crystal ball, so we're looking. The High Priestesses are looking, right? They're trying to confuse us by overkill with so many things, right? And then this one here, she got a phone, right, in her hand, or maybe that's not a phone. Maybe that's a device, right? Flip a switch. Or is that a cat? I don't know what the fuck that is she got in her hand, but she got something in her hand, right? And then what comes out? The Three of Wands in reverse. It's too late, baby, now it's too late, right? The Three of Wands is waiting for your ships to come in. Future thinking, right? They're trying to stop us, right? And make us think everything's sweet with the Knight of Cups. Oh, we're here to help you. These are organizations. We donate so much. The aristocrat from yesterday. But here's the Death and Transformation, right? They're trying to change something. Look at that red sky, right? We were talking about China and the red sky. And the Fool, they're trying to bring in a new beginning of deception and heartbreak, right? Now, what's, you know, stopping them is this high frequency that, you know, these people who are being awakened are, right? We're like communing with the sun and getting the energy and the frequency, right? And then at the same time, things are being exposed to us. We're starting to realize that we've been lied to and that we actually have a choice. But then there goes that entity again. They're like, oh no, they're getting too far. We got to bring the big one and cause an end to this shit. We need to shut it down. Why? We're going to have to cause a ten of swords. Let's get a kipper. Spirit. What else do we need to know? So the first card you have out here is courtship. What's being courted? Who's being courted? What are these relationships? Ain't that fucking a killer? Courtship, right? So they're trying to indoctrinate us further into freedom in reverse. And we've been in this. We've been in this relationship, this abusive relationship that doesn't give us freedom. We've been there. We've been there. Our ancestors been there. All right? Now, the next card you have here is Coffin. Spirit, why? Something's coming to an end. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentments blocks the flow of love. And if this spell is coming to an end, if the divine feminine is coming to destroy this patriarchy, and this is the final spiritual battle when I said, okay? And they know that we're awakening and that this is about to be discovered, right? Do you think that these people want forgiveness, or they're going to try to make it seem like they want forgiveness, but there's another agenda? Service, right? Please, you know, we didn't mean that. We just didn't understand. But will you still keep working for us? Because, you know, things won't run. Things won't run. Look, denial. Right? Things won't run. And we didn't really do that. That wasn't the agenda. That's not what we meant. It just happened to be a byproduct. We're being honest. Blame. Okay? And then distant horizons. Spirit, why is this distant horizons here? Because distant horizons, they know, because they've been using remote viewing, that they fail. Okay, that empathy or love conquers all. And that eventually you can't, the spell won't last forever. And that people are gaining their courage. And that people are tapping into their imagination. Right? So now they know that there's a problem, right? Now you have child at the bottom of the deck. Spirit. So this is the indigo child, or the children, or the Generation Zers that they're very scared of, okay? Because the Generation Zers are not indoctrinated the way we were, okay? They don't give a fuck about that, right? So they're the ones that are, you know, also being awakened. And I had said some time ago that the divine feminine was being awakened, and that there was a lot of divine masculines that most of them were under 21, right? Perseverance, right? So they're trying to hold on to the power, right? And they got to be patient. So they're going to lay out some seeds now, right? And under the guise of peace, right? But these kids, they want freedom for real. They don't even know, some of them do, but they don't even know that their soul contract was to come fight this battle, right? And self-esteem, right? They've used our self-esteem against us for so long. That was the whole Willie Lynch project, right? So that you would imprison yourself, right? So that you wouldn't realize that you're an abundant, sovereign being on your own, right? And like Crystal said, and then they'll use the relationships against you, right? So, Spirit, can I have a love and romance, please? Then we're going to get up out of here. Okay, it's Friday. I got some other things I need to do. New love, right? In reverse. And we are God, right? We are the God particle as well, right? Don't get a new love. You're in a courtship. So what if it's an abusive relationship? Spirit, why? Because you're about to cleanse and they don't want that shit. Release what no longer serves you. And that's what we're doing, right? Now you got forgiving and learning here. Well, if we can trick the divine feminine into thinking that this is for her, then she will raise these children, right? Just like they used the divine feminine before, we can use her again, right? You know, she's got a big heart. Maybe she will, you know, listen to us. Okay. I feel like two messages. We need to retreat from the system, right? And then also, yesterday I said that they had a plan for their 500 million, but it wasn't none of us, and that they were going to extract, retreat, right? Right. The only thing is that us women in this generation, we on some different shit, right? Hurtful words, right? How many of, I'm speaking for myself, I'm 51. How many of us went to Catholic school or was abused by the nuns, right? Or like my mother was, you know, was hit by a nun and she hit the nun back. She was expelled a month before her high school graduation, right? These are the things. So a lot of us know the stories of the mistreatment, especially melanated people, because we can kind of see it, right? So they want to keep us in our place, all right? They want to keep us in our place. Right? You got childhood love at the bottom, right? We're trying to return to that inner childlike state where you have a direct connection and everything seems possible, right? And we're on the fence. We're like on the edge of really getting that 100 monkey theory that we talked about, right? Okay, if you didn't see that, go back and see the collective unrest video, right? So on the fence, and they know, and I told you, right, no decision has been made yet, right? There's some things that they don't have complete control over, right? And many suitors, and we have many options, but we also have many acronyms or organizations that are working out together, right? And there's one stands out in the crowd. There's also one head, right? But we also have many ways that we could come to that God, all is one energy, meditation, diet. There's a lot of ways, downloads. So they wanna fix that, and they're gonna poison the social media, right? But we figured out a way to disseminate information, and it's been worth the wait. And yes, we're doing it, right? But at the same time, they want to stop, okay? Because you got wedding bells, right? That's a contract of uncharted territory because of the divine protection. They acting all quiet and everything is in secret, right? Secret love and the hands of time, and they recognize that they're losing control and that we're going to overcome the odds. And here goes the divine feminine calling back her people, and it's exposing their masks. You see? Let's get a postcard and then I'm gone. To my Patreoners, I will be doing most likely Sunday a reading for my Patreoners. I don't know if they're using love and marriage to blind us. I think that they're using the family or what comes out of, you know, remember, marriage is a contract, right? So there's many contracts. There's a birth certificate. There is your debt. There is, you know, we have all types of contracts. Okay? So I'm just trying to put you, you know, what are they trying to keep us married to would be the better way to put it, Crystal. What do they want us keep us married to? Because it feels like the, you know, the collective is divorcing the matrix, right? Here we go. There is only one you, and you have a unique path and a special purpose. You're supposed to have specific experiences in this world and meet certain people, but then it's up to you on how you live, how awake you choose to be, and how willing you are to grow and strip away what's false. Don't compare yourself to others. It's easy to think a person is happier just because their outside looks good according to society standards, but you can't know anyone's internal experiences. Compare yourself only to your past self. See how far you've come. Don't be distracted by what others are doing or accomplishing. Stay focused on what inspires you. That's how you get successful and find happiness. Want what you have now, not what someone else has. We love you immensely and know your journey is ahead is sparkling with miracles and wondrous things. Trust, right? So remember I said that we're not for everybody. Okay, people who are receiving these types of messages and can see that something's not right, that's because they're somehow going to be leaders. Okay, whether they're doing what I'm doing or you're the leader of the people around you, right? And a while ago I did a reading talking about that it was like all the high priestesses were being put to their stations, almost like a battle cry, right? So that we could lead those around us, right? And what did I say in the beginning? We need to protect our frequency. We need to know the knowledge, but not give into it, right? Because at the bottom of the deck of the tarot that we was using is the Nine of Pentacles. We could come out on top, but we need to protect ourselves, become independent, not be a slave to the system. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys. I just want to say thank you to my returning subscribers for coming through and spending a little time with me. And if you're a new viewer and you felt that I resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and comment, as I'd love to have you as part of the Lovely Soul family. Wishing you all light and love and blessings on blessings. Namaste, gang, gang. Bye.